Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Monique Macrin. If you're new here, karibu sana, and if you've been here before, thank you so much for your continued support. So let me tell you guys, I've just finished having my lunch, and I told myself I've been wanting to shoot this particular video for it's been 3 weeks, since I posted my last video, and I have the content in my head. I really want to share this story, but for some reason I just never pick up the phone. Okay, so I'm supposed to do this particular video together with a certain nurse. He's been busy the whole day, so I just wanted to come and start this video so that it can prompt me to go to that ward where the nurse is and find out if he's ready or not. If he's not ready, then we'll just have to do any other, not this particular video, but my version, and I'll just share whatever knowledge that I have. I wanted to have a nurse here because I feel like he has more insights and knowledge compared to me in relation to this particular topic. Guys, I want to share about my labor experience. I'm not very sure if I want to give my own story or I want to tell you guys things that you should expect during labor, and I should just make those two videos separately. Let me think. Oops. Ouch. We are home finally. My plan didn't work as I planned, of course, and that's why we are home right now, because I didn't even make it to go and find the nurse. I just got busy, then it was time to go back home, and so I'm home, came back, napped, snacked, and here I am. So today we are going to talk about my labor experience, and I'm doing this video mostly because during my time, I had no idea the things that I was going to face during labor. And I feel like that contributed a lot to postpartum depression because I felt violated, I felt traumatized. I just wasn't ready for a lot of things that I went through. And I honestly feel like if I had been prepared, maybe, just maybe, I could have, handled it a little bit different. So let's get right into it. So, the EDD, the expected delivery date for my baby was on 11th November. The labors didn't come as expected, but I had been prepared that sometimes the baby can come 2 weeks before or after, 2 weeks after, so I wasn't really worried. So I waited for another 7 days. That was on 17th November. Baby still didn't come. At this point, I was just so tired. Gosh, I was so tired. I just needed this baby to come to my Lisa story, yani. So I remember I used to walk. We used to walk a lot. Because we used to live in Kasarani Seasons. So we would walk all the way from Seasons to Githurai, then to Roysambu, and back to Seasons, trying to get labor. You know how they say that when you walk a lot, you induce labor. I did that. I swam a lot. I took Primson oil. It didn't work. I took bumpy rides and every manner of things that the internet is going to tell you. Nothing worked. So, and then I remember I used to sleep at night. No, I used to sit in the couch waiting for labor to come, and then it wouldn't come, and I would be so frustrated. Anyway, so on 24th, I had been given an appointment by my doctor that if the baby doesn't come, if labor does not start naturally, then 24th was was the latest that you could wait for this baby. So on 24th, I had been booked for an induction at 7 a.m. So at 6, we got ready, took our bags, we went to the hospital. Let me tell you. Oh wait, on the way to the hospital, me, I'm an overthinker by this. So on the way to the hospital, I remember I was telling hubby, okay, he was a fiance back then. So I remember telling him, Kai, Aki, And I used to go to Kilimani Moms, and I would see those experiences of living. I was like, "Kai, me, I'm so scared by the way." So we pray. At some point, we had to stop the car. We prayed. I called my dad. I called my mom. I called my sisters. I told them I'm going for an induction. Guys, pray for me. I think I'm just general. I'm not the most optimistic people that you'll find, by the way. So being an overthinker, being a sort of a pessimist, I usually expect the worst of most things. You can imagine the panic mode that I was in. So we get to the hospital. That is around, like, what are these kids doing here? And we are back. So I get into the hospital, to the labor ward. Then there was that nursing station. So we were doing the registration. I saw a lady who had a drip. And then the lady was like, and I was like, oh my God, Mimi, sikai hapa. Me, I took an about turn and I told Habi, Mimi, I'm not ready for this. So I think the nurses just laughed. Nikafika kwa mlango. And I remember one nurse telling me, this baby has to come out of you, whether you like it or not. And the time is now. So the earlier you get to terms with that situation, the better. Then I thought about it. Well, I didn't even think about it, Sana. I had no option. So basically, we got booked. We had told them that I was hoping for a vaginal delivery. I don't like calling it natural because I feel like even CS is a natural delivery. So basically, I wanted a vaginal delivery. So we started the induction. So the first induction that started was the swapping of the cervix. Hey, Monica, were you ready for that? So you get to a bed and then you're told, okay, you need to remove your pants. At that point, you're not so ready for, getting naked in front of people you don't know. So it was not very easy. You kind of feel some sort of humiliation. So yeah, I was told, okay, lie on the bed, remove your undies, definitely. And then the nurse gets the fingers and swipes the cervix. It wasn't painful, it was more of a discomfort, but the most traumatizing bit about that was I just felt, how do I put it, violated. I just felt violated. So after that, I was given my room. It was a private room, so we stayed there with Happy, waiting for the induction, waiting for it to see if it's going to work. It didn't work. After I think 2 hours, they started giving me a solution. There was a tablet that would be put in water, and then I used to take it. I don't remember if it was every 2 hours or every 4 hours, but every 2 or 4 hours I used to take the amount of solution that had been given. Then at some point I started feeling pain, and I called the nurse and I told the nurse, I think I'm in labor. And the nurse came in. I was like, okay, we don't see even any contractions, you're not in labor. And then I'm like, what do you mean I'm not in labor? Me, I'm feeling the pain. So the nurse was like, labor ikikuja utajua. That means when the labor kicks in, you will know, and we will know. You won't even need to tell us. So I was like, okay, fine. So basically the whole of 24th, the whole day and night of 24th, I was in pain but no active labor. And at some point I remember the nurse telling me that by 6 a.m. if the labor will not have started, you'll have to go for a CS. So at this point I was really scared of a CS. Like, out there at that particular time, I know right now on the internet a lot of people are glorifying CS, but back then, that is like 6 years back, people were sort of demonizing CS. So when I heard the word CS, I was like, no, I'm not going for a CS. I really prayed. I don't know if it's the prayers that worked or eventually the induction worked, but basically at around 6 something, labor kicked in. My friends, the pain, guy, me, I've never felt pain like that. I don't even think there exists pain like that. And let me tell you, I'm not a soft person. Me, I've climbed Mount Kenya. And climbing that, okay, I've climbed, Abadias was hard, but Mount Kenya was the most testing of the challenges that most people who live on this earth will ever go through. And I made it. And I'm still telling you that labor pain was nothing compared to going up that Mount Kenya. Okay, the challenge is different actually. So this comparison is not fair. I'm just trying to tell you how much painful it was. You get it? It was so painful. So hey, actually I think I kind of feel like the memories of these days are trying to wane. So the labor started. I remember I couldn't walk because I used to be encouraged to walk, but with my labor somehow my legs were weak, my knees were weak, so I wasn't really able to walk. I would just walk and I would feel like my legs can't move. So most of the time I was lying in bed, then I was kneeling down. I just couldn't walk, by the way. So even when it was going to the toilet, hubby had to help me. I had to, like, use him as a support. I don't know why this was happening to me. I know some people are able to walk, but for me, I just wasn't able to walk. So I used to do the two bounces on the bed. There were no balls at that particular hospital. The most interesting, I remember at some point I called the doctor and I told the doctor, hi, you guys lied to me. You told me that after like when someone is going through labor, there's usually a period of like 5 minutes where you get intermittent breaks, like kuna intervals of a break. Like you'll get a contraction, then you rest for like a few minutes, then a contraction, then a few minutes. For me, there was no break. Basically, the pain was coming from my tummy to my back, to my tummy, to my back. There was no rest. I didn't have a rest. Tangu yo labor yanze. Up to 5:58 p.m. I swear there was no resting period. So I remember I called the doctors and I was so mad. And I was like, why did you guys lie to me? Why is there a break? And they laughed. Anyway, let me tell you. So I was singing. I remember I was singing Twinkle Twinkle Little Stars. Then I would finish Twinkle Twinkle Little Stars, and then I would sing. I would count 1, 2, 3 up to 100. Then I would sing again. I just wanted to talk to somebody, but it was draining. At some point, I remember I started vomiting, and the person the lady who came to wash my room told me, well, now you're in the second stage of your labor. The vomiting is a sign of that. But I vomited like 5 times, so I was weak. But then at least we had been advised to go to the hospital with some Lucozade and Ribena, because I didn't eat the previous day. Okay, I ate, but the last meal that I had was dinner of the 24th. So the whole of 25th, I didn't eat anything. I just couldn't eat because I was nauseated. The pain was too much. So the Ribenas and the Lucozade really helped me. And by the way, let me tell you, if you're going in for labor, I really advocate for you to have energy drinks with you, because it can be tricky to eat. I see you are now at like 10 minutes. I need to harakisha this story. So after vomiting, then the pains are okay. After vomiting, then my waters had not broken, so a nurse came, mechanically ruptured the waters. Yeah, and the water came gushing out like it was a tap of warm urine coming out. It was too much, but well, it didn't feel so bad. But after the water came out, the pain doubled. Like, you're going through a pain that you think it can't get worse, and then after the breaking of the water, the pain goes like ×4, and I was like, oh God, me, I'm dying. I called my sister and I told my sister, Akishiro, please, when I'm gone, take care of my baby. And the baby is going to be called Migano Ampui Moshina. Please take care of my baby if I die. I remember telling Habi, Aki babe, me, if I die, together with Shiro, take care of my child, because me, this pain, I don't think I'm going to be able to go through it. But anyway, I started feeling the urge to poop. At that point, I didn't even know what that actually meant. So I felt the urge to poop. But the nurse had told me, if you feel the urge to poop, please do not go to the toilet. So I remember I pressed the bell, and then the nurse came and I told the nurse, I want to poop. And the nurse told me, okay, fine, let me check. It's called a vaginal examination. So they checked, and I had dilated up to like 9 centimeters. Then they told me, you just have 1 more centimeter to go. Then I'm like, Kai Mwatani, I can't handle this. And by the way, another thing that I found disgusting was being in the hospital for like 2 days. That meant kulikuwa na a lot of change of shift changes. So I got to be examined by several nurses, and I didn't like the idea of different people coming and getting into my V like that. I know it's necessary, but I just feel like someone should have told me that people will, you know, do that. Okay, I don't know, I think I was just ignorant, but I didn't expect that to happen to me. Even once, I didn't expect that it was going to be different people. So the fact that it was different people, because I remember one nurse when they were doing the examination, and you know, it's a bit uncomfortable, by the way, but it only gets painful when you do not relax. But if you relax, it's okay. I know now, I didn't know then. So most of my V's were very uncomfortable. And I remember one time, there was this nurse who told me, please, I need to, I don't want to use that name. Okay, eka matako chini. And I was like, it just felt, it didn't feel good, by the way. So basically, he was telling me to not lift my butt. And I don't know, maybe I'm too oversensitive. I didn't like that whole experience, by the way. And I know there was no shortcut around it, just that I was not prepared. So anyway, at 9 centimeters, the urge to poop was so strong. Guy, it was so strong. Like, I want you to imagine you're having the worst food poisoning, and then your diarrhea. And then it's coming out. It wants to come out with all the force in this world, and then someone is telling you you can't poop. If you poop, you're going to tear your cervix, and then you're going to end up in theater. And I'm like, but it wants to come out. And then the nurse is like, hold it. Anyway, finally I managed to hold it, and then at some point I told them, if you do not deliver this baby, me, I'm going to poop. Anyway, so they mechanically tried to take the cervix apart, and it worked until the walls of the cervix completely disappeared, and I started pushing, and I didn't know how to push. Okay, they tried to explain to me, but I just didn't know how to push, and that is the reason why you need to watch the next video that I'm going to do after this, because I'm going to be telling you the right pushing techniques. Because yes, there is the right technique to pushing, which is safer and easier for you. I didn't know how to push, so I just did my trial and error. But let me tell you, I would do this, I would make this push, and I would see stars in my head. My energies were drained. At some point, my contractions disappeared, and I had to be added some hormones. So you know, you can imagine pushing without pain, because that pain makes it easier for you to push. Anyway, a lot was happening. Then at some point, baby came out, and then she was crying. Then when I had her, I think she started crying when the head came out. Okay, I want to say something, but it's quite graphic, so I think I will skip it. But guys, I hope you know that when you're pushing your baby, you might do other things, like, you know, you might pee and poop on that table, and you shouldn't feel bad about it. I did, and that's why I'm making this video, because I want you, when you go to that labor room, just expect a lot of disgusting things are going to happen, and no one cares. People are there to help you. You shouldn't be conscious, you get? So yeah, so now baby comes out, the head of the baby comes out, the baby cries, and I'm so excited, and I stop pushing. And then they're all shouting, utaua mtoto wewe, hutamaliza kupush, push mommy, push. Me, I'm like, I can't push. I was already resigned. And I remember Happy shouting, Monique, utavunja mtoto kichwa. And I said, okay, fine. I did my last push, and baby came out, and I just wanted to sleep after that. Then they brought the baby, I held her, he showed me it's a girl. She was a beautiful baby. Like, I thought I'm going to get a very small baby who looks like a carrot. You know, a small baby who looks like a rat with wrinkled skins, the way most babies are, like a baby who is white. But I think the fact that the baby was overdue, she had already shed that skin, because when most babies are born within their EDDs, most of them have those white thingies. But the fact that Megan came later, maybe that's why she probably, her skin was, you know, more fresh. I just loved what I saw, and once I was done loving what I saw, I slept. Now, after sleeping, things started happening. I started overbleeding. So I don't know if this, I guess I'm just going to do a long video. I hope you no, I'll make another video explaining my bleeding, how I passed out 2 times, and how I came close to death. By the way, I believe I saw death, then I came back to life 2 times. 2 times. So watch out for the next video.